You seen the title to this video? Viewers just really don't give a damn when it comes to human characters throughout the Godzilla franchise. Outside of the very original Godzilla film, the human characters have never been given a chance. It doesn't matter which decade, how much money is put into the film, or what the story is about. Fans are always like, get the f*** off the damn screen! But why is this? Residents, this is Jacob, and join me today as we discuss why the human characters are cast aside in the minds of the viewers, and if Godzilla King of the Monsters can finally break this bad trend. Literal ants. That's what humans are to the real stars of these movies, Godzilla and the rest of the monsters. People watch these movies for the kaiju, not the people, so this already places the human characters at a disadvantage. Movie watchers are just not willing to give them a chance, and for good reason. The monsters, the endless destruction, mayhem, and carnage that they provide is the real focus. But regardless of this obvious reason, what are the other issues that dampen the human characters in the Godzilla franchise? The Godzilla franchise stretches over 65 years, multiple iterations, and more than 30 total films. This makes developing consistent and interesting human characters rather difficult, especially when they have to share the screen time with this guy. We also cannot forget that Godzilla is not a normal Hollywood Americanized film. Toho, the Japanese creators of Godzilla, did not have the same resources, technology, and money of many other larger franchises over the decades. And on top of all that, Toho was always changing the formula of their Godzilla films. Some of them would take a serious and dramatic approach, while others would go full-on cheese, baby. Speaking of cheese, we can't ignore the problems that come from the English dubbing of the original audio.
I guarantee it'll go through Godzilla like crap through a goose.
I think most of us have the same thoughts about the awkward lip-syncing and the strange choice of words for translating certain phrases from Japanese to English causes. Sure, you can find the original Japanese dialogue takes on most of the Godzilla movies without too much effort, but I think it's fair to say that most of us grew up on the English dubbed versions of the movies. It's not that the actors gave poor performances, usually it was done fairly well considering the goofy scripts for some of the movies, but this part of the classic Godzilla films was always quite jarring, especially for those who are not used to watching foreign films. Unfortunately, the negative thoughts toward the human characters didn't go away when Godzilla came over to America.
You call this coffee?
I call this America.
Both Godzilla 1998 and Legendary's first Godzilla film suffered from the less-than-loved human characters problem. Now personally, I didn't have too much beef with the characters from either of these films all that much. Sorry. Yeah, 1998's human characters had their cheesy moments, but it's not like this was a new thing for the franchise. And while 2014 Godzilla's human characters did follow a rather basic story, it still had some solid characters that were able to carry the film while they were on screen. So the question to this video was, why do most fans of Godzilla and even the average movie watcher who just wants to be wowed by giant monsters mock the human characters within these movies? So we put together a little list of sorts, starting with poor writing. Less than stellar writing has always been an issue with the Toho Godzilla films, and tends to be an issue with many movies in the genre in general. The next important reason is the battle of screen time and the looming costs of production. Creating giant monster films, whether it's by using suitmation and live props or by CGI, it's just not cheap or easy. You have to somehow add in these human moments to add some length and emotion to the movies. A Godzilla movie that featured nothing but monsters fighting would be awesome, but it would cost an insane amount of time, effort, and money to animate and put together. And at the end of the day, fans really just want to see these monsters. So it really is a difficult task for any team willing to take on a giant monster movie. The criticism of Godzilla 2014 mostly being the less than 10 minutes of Godzilla being on screen may have put an extra bit of negativity towards the movie's rep and its human characters. Something that may not have happened if the monster action was more often in the story. Good thing King of the Monsters has already been said to have much more of these monsters, and less time spent on the human characters. Something that will hopefully help the reputation of the human characters in this movie. Let's talk about the Godzilla anime. This series has its fans, and that's okay. But in my opinion, it was a prime example how to not get the majority of viewers excited for your monster movies. The series didn't have many characters to look up to, as its set of humanoid characters were bland and kinda predictable. And the main character, which we had to see on screen the most during the series, well, I'll let you make your own opinion on him. Then you throw in the fact that there is practically no monster action in most of the hour-and-a-half each 3-part series, and they're filled with drawn-out filler segments with the human characters talking about what to do next, and you can see why this series was not well received. Going into Godzilla King of the Monsters, we have a lot to look forward to, and yes, even with the human characters. Kong Skull Island shown that the MonsterVerse was capable of bringing some interesting and respectable human characters into the fray. And I see no reason why King of the Monsters will not take this one step even further. Godzilla 2 has one of, if not the strongest cast in the entire franchise, and to waste this talent would be a real shame. But here's the thing, I personally think that this movie is going to have the most well-received batch of human characters of all Godzilla freaking time. There's going to be a little cheese, that's undeniable, but that's a part of any Godzilla movie. It's good to not take things too serious. I mean, we are talking about crazy battles between 400-foot-tall monsters. But if the trailers reveal anything, this cast of human characters is going to impress most of us, and that's just prime. Now we just have to wait and see. Alright residents, how about you guys tell us about how you feel about the human characters throughout Godzilla's history? Remember to subscribe and check out our social media pages, the links to them down below. I hope all you guys are having a great day. This is Jacob, and peace out.